Welcome, Chris. Lovely to meet you. Tell me a little bit about XL Innovate. It's not a firm that I've followed, so I'd be interested in.
Sure. So XL Innovate is an insurtech-focused venture firm. We focus exclusively on the P&C industry, so we don't do anything in health or life. The fund has been around now for 2.5 years, and across those 2.5 years, we've made 12 investments. So we focus primarily on seed and Series A investments, and those are investments really in new insurance models, data and analytics companies, as well as a unique portion of what we do is build our own in-house MGAs.
So, well, that's pretty amazing. You have great experience if you're just focused on insurtech. And would you tell me a little bit about what your passion is and what you've been interested in and what led you to be focused on insurtech?
Sure. So I think taking that last question first, I think what's really interesting about the insurance industry is that it's certainly ripe for change. So the insurance industry in many ways is anchored in legacy systems and is anchored in history. So there's a lot of opportunity for innovation and a lot of opportunity for disruption and change. And so I think we're seeing a lot of technologies that are coming to the market now where insurers are having to adapt this or really be left behind. And so they have that choice. Do they want to embrace this or do they not want to? And I think what we're finding is a lot of insurers are embracing this new technology, are embracing the digitization of the insurance industry. And I think that's really exciting. And so from that perspective, there's a lot going on, a lot of investment opportunities, and I think a lot of room for change. And we're looking for areas within the P&C industry where there is significant room for change and for these companies to scale at a significant way as well. So I think we're very excited at XL Innovate about the opportunities that insurtech has shown us thus far, but also the opportunities that are coming down the pipe as well.
And do you know why it's taken so long for this industry? Really, it's only in the last couple of years, correct, that it's started to be effective? Your fund's been around for a couple of years, right? Yeah. Why it's taken so long for the incumbents to be jostled?
Well, I think it's a couple of factors. So one is the insurance industry really is highly regulated. So that is conducive to very large companies that don't necessarily need to think about changing or adopting quickly. And so that's one area. The other is the confluence of technologies that have really come through. So we're seeing from FinTech, insurtech has really become its own silo. And so a lot of new entrepreneurs and a lot of new companies are really sort of focused on insurtech. And so I think with the legacy systems that have been about for forever and ever in the insurance industry, they're getting old. And I think insurers are seeing that there's ways that they can be much more efficient with new technologies, and these technologies are really coming to the fore. So, I think in my view, insurtech has really been around since about 2015 or so. And from that perspective, it's a very, very young movement, one that has obviously gotten quite hot in terms of the number of companies that are entering the market and the money that is flowing through. But as I said before, I think that there's a lot of room to grow, and we're just in the early stages of the insurtech wave.
So tell me how the incumbents are dealing with all this disruption and change that's starting to bite at their heels.
Well, I think what's interesting is there was when insurtech really first became a thing, there was very much an adversarial movement between the startups and the insurers, and so there was this idea that this insurtech movement was a zero-sum game, and really what's happened over the last year or so is that I think both the incumbents and the startups are recognizing that that's not necessarily the case. So that partnership really is the way forward, and collaboration can be mutually beneficial for both of these sides. So what we're seeing is a lot of partnerships come through. So we're seeing companies like Next partner with Markel. We're seeing Nationwide partner with Sure. We're seeing Quilt partner with Generation Life. So I think the way forward really is this partnership model, and so both sides really need one another to move forward, and I think the expectation is that's going to continue for the foreseeable.
So it's a little bit like what happened with the banks, that they sort of tried to turn a cold shoulder towards the FinTech startups, and now they're starting to have their own accelerators.
Yeah, exactly. And I think what you've seen is you've seen a lot of the insurers really embrace the accelerators or the innovation units and the VC funds, just to understand what's going out there. Plug and Play, as an incubator, as an example, has over 50 insurers and reinsurers that are signed up for the program. So there's certainly a lot of movement in terms of understanding that these insurers and reinsurers need to know what's going on. But I think there's also a quiet confidence from the insurers that they're not going anywhere. The banks, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, they're all still there. And so I think there are people within the State Farm, within Travelers, et cetera, that are confident that they can figure this out. But the way that we see it is they're going to figure it out with the insurtechs, not in spite of the insurtechs.
And are you seeing much happening with the blockchain in the insurtech startups?
So we've heard a lot about blockchain, and blockchain has certainly been a large buzzword in the insurtech movement. What we haven't seen are solutions. So blockchain is an incredibly interesting technology, and one that certainly has the ability to address a lot of different areas. From an investment side, we really like to see solutions to problems, and blockchain, while the technology can absolutely make a lot of things work and make a lot of things happen and expand the information sharing within the insurance industry, we haven't seen an investable company yet that can really use that technology to address a significant problem within the insurance industry.
And I hear that you like riding a bicycle. Do you want to tell us what you've been doing as far as you're riding a bike?
Yeah, so
For fun, right?
it's all for fun. It's sometimes harder, and which makes me sort of think twice about why I'm doing it. But Tom Hutton, our managing partner, is also a very enthusiastic cyclist, and we've been fortunate enough to go on some rides together on Friday afternoons and on the weekends, et cetera. But it's good to get outside, and especially in this part of the world where it's amazing cycling territory. So I've been very fortunate to do a lot of that out here.
Great. Well, keep that up. That'll help you do the hard stuff.
Yeah.
Thanks again for coming. I'm really looking forward to the panel. I think it'll be great.
Likewise. Thank you very much.